Hello everyone, I'm Sidival, and today we even finally continue reading World and Economica episode 2. Yeah, it was quite a long time, more than a month already, since we read it last time, since I had a hiatus, but I'm back, and our reading seems back, kinda. Oh, I am changed the schedule a little bit, mostly actually because of this channel, because I didn't have enough time to record and edit reaction videos with streaming every day. So now we actually gonna have only one World and Economica stream on this channel. It's gonna be only on Saturdays and not on Wednesday anymore. Instead, I am gonna try to have a little bit longer streams because I feel like it's needed to actually finish these visual novels. They kinda long after all. Not promise it's gonna happening every time. I mean longer streams. And as longer I mean around 2 hours, which yeah, not like super long, but yeah. Mm, I mean more streams, more we actually gonna stay together. Reading this visual novel. Anyway, so before my hiatus, we stopped. Well, on previous stream, I believe, from what I'm remembering, Haru and Eleanor. Hey, I actually remember names. Uh, checked solar panels, stalls, spots where Avalon was telling they get energy from, and surprisingly, Haru's mm, expectations. Actually, I mean, can we call it expectation? But mm, suspicion. Haru's suspicion actually was be corrected, and even if all documents was correct, there is actually, well, they where we checked where solar panel should be, there is actually nothing there. Oh, and now, then they finally have information on Avalon. They can't do anything about this, at least immediately, because cliffhanger when we actually finish stream, I think, um, was in what Eleanor actually lost her position as Suzy Wu, because Suzy Wu was blamed in something, I actually don't remember what, but eventually company who supported her just sell her and say what she shouldn't try to be Suzy Wu or anything. So yeah, and well, now we're gonna see what gonna happen about this. Obviously, Eleanor need to be Suzy Wu to do something with Avalon. After all, she don't really have any uh, well, at least not a lot of influence as Eleanor, because obviously all people know her as Susie Wu. So without this persona, she pretty much help us in this situation and doing something with Avalon. But well, I am expecting them actually something figure out something with this. What I can't really say. Hmm, I mean, maybe they're gonna ignore um or Worcester's heart, and funny enough, I feel like well, I know what I know what I want to say. It just it my on tip of my tongue, but I can't exactly remember. Um, actually, what I wanted to say at all. Um, I mean, maybe she gonna ignore all threats from Avalon and as well as her past company, one what was supported her as Suzy Wu, and just somehow gonna appear as Suzy Wu. Anyway, I don't know, some streams, doing some stream or something like this. Um, hmm. But there is actually big problem. She was, I believe, framed to doing something. Again, unfortunately, I forget what exactly it was. Um, and this is make a problem because if she gonna just do some stream to or somehow appear on television to actually tell truth about Avalon, people probably not gonna believe her. Um, mm, can we actually see what exactly was said about her? Mm, mm, you can see her talking with stuff. Ah, okay, yeah. So they blame her to advertise some stocks and profit from them. Okay, yeah, definitely is something what people actually can believe for. After all, it kinda hard to believe in some analyst or well, actually anyone who deal with money and training what he just do stuff for justice. Let's be honest, it's not sound really truthful. And honest, believing that someone actually was profiting from this and lying about stuff much more believable. After all, well, I guess it's actually how people actually see markets and any work with money. Like Kevin, I can believe in this much easier as with something else. But it was really lucky because it is like end of the log what we can see. Anyway, so oh, also another thing what I'm remembering right now. There is some suspicion that they have a traitor. Yeah, in Eleanor company. Mm, after all, Avalon somehow figure out what Eleanor working against them. Um, and because of this, tried to kill her career. We cannot even say tried. For now, it seems they've been successful in this. But anyway, so and we don't know who gonna be this traitor. I am still afraid it's gonna be Chris. With her be mm, I'm not sure if it's the right word, but idolizing Barton, or at least mm, respect him somehow. So yeah, I'm still afraid about this. Not sure if it's gonna be true. After all, it seems a little bit easy, but we also don't know a lot about anyone else from Eleanor Company. Like maybe it's gonna be I actually don't remember names and our guys from her company. But there is a chance it's gonna be a boy or old guy. But well, I guess even if we don't show it, we don't know them really well, but we know enough for them about them. What Evans, if someone from them gonna be traitor, it's gonna be shockingly enough. But still, afraid it's gonna be Chris. Mostly because I still kinda hope for ship Chris X Haru, even if I'm not really believe it's gonna happen. Mostly because Haru mostly care about our stuff and he still didn't forget about Hagana. Mm, Anyway, let's finally start reading. Um, the ship arrived at the port on Shell at around 8 am, but Eleanor's face remained stiff the entire time. The TV was buzzing like a prod, prod beehive with news of Susie Wu. It was one of the large monitors in the airport, where people looking like good flowers who might have bought up the analyst recommended brands watch the news. They're faced with training that they have no idea who they should be angry at. On the bright side, Eleanor couldn't be outed as Susie Wu, so we weren't swarmed by reporters when we arrived. Yeah, these two guys, Legov and Marco. There is chance someone from them actually traitor, but I guess we'll see. I mean, there is still a chance that Sophie Kaz going on and nobody actually a traitor. Instead, Legov and Marco had come. Eleanor's expression suddenly softened seeing Marco, and she asked him why he wasn't at school. Marco looked like he might burst into tears at any moment as Eleanor patted his head with his hat still on it. How I read him. No, not I, like my voice acting. What can behold was I voice acting. Um, anyway. Madam, as reported, the hotel reservation had been cancelled. Eleanor stood up, nodding. My belongings? Everything has been sent over to your manor. Manor, yes. Spoke up abruptly, then sighed. How? Yes? That little pause could have been because I was afraid of what was going to be said afterwards. Thank you for everything. Is she gonna give up? Then she lowered her head, as though taking a breath, and raised it again, forcing a smile. Someday, I shall surely repay you. Leaving me with whose words, Eleanor took Marco and Legov along with her, turning her back to me as she walked away. I recalled the conversation we had at the crack of dawn inside the ship, just as we were on the way back to the lunar city. It's likely this time is really over. Eleanor said that without any expression on her face. But corruption is corruption. If you made this public, then certainly. Silence my argument with her gaze. That's how listless her eyes were. And if we're to bring it to the police or judicial system, just get out until the end of the long investigation backlog list. I chose to become Suzy because I was certain they'd be useless. Eleanor looked at my hand holding hers. Looked at my hand holding hers and said, when Avalon published their corporate bonds at 20 billion moons, they were much more serious than I imagined. Just as we went to the end of the moon, they were intent on tipping the scales of justice with that money. No matter what, this is the end. Suzy Wu is dead. Eleanor then smiled weakly. Because of you, I was able to go places I'd never been able to go alone. And my astrophobia appears to have been cured. Also, was there, quietly resting her head on my collarbone, then spoke. For the first time in ages, I sleep peacefully, even if it was for but a moment. That was when we were waiting in the lobby. Eleanor looked up and smiled, so embarrassed. I said nothing. I could say nothing. After what alone, Platinum Smith and Harold Bros had all done, I had absolutely no idea how I could help Eleanor. Which corporations wielding vast amounts of capital were capable of swift and extremely strong actions, and I couldn't imagine how a lone individual could oppose that. I was past the point of feeling powerless. I was utterly at a loss. That's when I realized that Eleanor's dream was many times, dozens of times, larger than I could even imagine. We ended up being pushed all the way back to the starting line. But had we gained something? If I didn't believe that, I would probably have crumbled to my knees at that point. Welcome home. His greeting to me when I returned to the church was hesitant after she saw my face. Just gave a small nod, pulling out the chair from the table near the kitchen and sitting down. I didn't even have the energy to return to my own room. Suzy was dead, but Alon lived on. I couldn't accept this injustice. Chris looked over at me, holding her tablet. Oh yeah, there's also meeting Chris and some creepy guys. Well, okay. Well, you know what? I think it's okay calling them creepy guys, since they pretty much agreed to help Haris for nothing just because she is a girl. It's kinda creepy. Anyway. Maybe this guy is somehow gonna be able to help them. But I don't see how. Please look over at me, grabbing her tablet. I was certainly in no shape to socialize with Chris. Eleanor is... When Chris said that, I remembered that she too knew what Eleanor was Susie Wu. I knew about this. I actually didn't remember this. She went home. Legov and Marco are with her. I see. Chris said that, but didn't sit down. She looked rather awkward. Not going to the office today, either. Asked her reluctantly. No. Legov said today wouldn't be a good time. Well, that's true. Like that, I closed my eyes and trusted my body to the back of the chair. How could I help Eleanor? Of course, the best method would to our definition proof of Avalon corruption and take it to the judicial system, really drive it in and force them to open an investigation. But I was well aware of how crazy that would be. For one, it would be impossible for me to expose Avalon's corruption alone. Even after all of Eleanor's investigation, she still wasn't certain. The generators in the empty plots of land had been nearly pure coincidence. I couldn't imagine what trick they used to twist the figures to bring forth 40 billion moon silver. Thinking about it, 40 billion is such an extraordinary sum. I don't even know what one would do with it. Eleanor, she's innocent, right? Chris had to ask me that question. It's fake, no matter how you look at it. Susie Wu isn't even a real person. And that doesn't matter at all. It seems. If putting that information out to the media guarantees Susie Wu a public execution. What? Execution? It's Avalon. Saying that, I glared at an empty spot on the table. Remember I told you about the plan to short sell Avalon? And of course some negative factors, so they made the first move. That's about it. Incredible, isn't it? I had forgotten that companies I only knew the names and stock values of are on the same scale as nations. She looked shocked, curling her tablet in her arms. Then she spoke up, as if doubling me. But, but does that mean it was going to go well? Well, yeah, we found information that hadn't been circulating in the stock market yet. And that wasn't enough. It didn't work. Chris took a deep breath when I said those words. Then at that moment, she spoke up. Wait, is this time skip? Or... It seems like Chris trying to help. So maybe it's proving what Chris not a traitor here. If so, I'm glad. Goodness, you're back, Hal. I turned around upon hearing Liz's voice. She was standing there with a Bible in her hands. It seemed she'd just finished her daily prayers in the sanctum. Liza. What is it? Goodness, that's quite a face. I need a little advice. I had no one to rely on but Liza. Was such injustice acceptable? How did Liza deal with such enormous injustice? Did God truly exist in this world? I'm not sure what's troubling you. Please. So there is no Chris around in this conversation, so I guess yeah. Which means Chris actually had some idea and say about this to Haru. But now Haru for some reason not sure about everything. Oh yeah, I actually wrong there. Just now mentioned Chris. I mean, still I feel like there was time skip here. I stood up from my chair, and Lisa looked over from me to Chris. Glanced over at Chris and spoke abruptly. Sorry, maybe later. Oh, or maybe I'm wrong. Okay. She scrawled her tablet, giving a sullen reply. Then I sat on the long bench in the sanctum. Lisa finally made her way over. She had two cups in her hands, both filled with hot cacao. When I came back with such an awful expression on my face, you poured this for me, right? You called to tell me to pour it down. Goodness, is that so? But you didn't draw me above. So, you do remember. I said that Liz laughed deliberately, sitting next to me. Well then, what can you big sis do for you? Deliberately narrowing her eyes, she pushed her body up closer to mine. 4 years ago, I would have thought this was a little more than annoying teasing, but as I was, I felt like I could just bury myself in her arms. Does God truly exist? Ah, I didn't expect this question. Well, look at Lisa, she was just as she was always. Sorry. When I looked at Lisa, she was just as she always was. That mischievous smile never left her face, and she took my words and gazed straight on. Then, drinking her cacao, she spoke. It does. But Lisa hastily supported the cup in my hands as I began speaking and became animated. The contents splashed up a bit, spilling over Lisa's hand. Disregarding the heat, Lisa took the cup from my hand and placed it on the front pew. Sorry, your hand. Ah, I'm fine. It's nothing. Say that, then licked it a bit. You have been pushed far enough into a corner that you'd ask me such a thing. After all, don't worry, this is nothing at all. It was hard to believe whose words so readily. They sounded more like an errant lie that rings well in one's ears. But I knew that Lisa was serious. Lisa never truly did become angry, even after I'd made her lose everything. But there is a God. If there is not, why would I crawl my way to the moon and wear this silly get-up? But the world is so unfair. Who seeking justice fall prey to traps, and only frauds get their way. How can there be a God? It's written in the Bible, always. God is the one who is and who was, and who is to come. Not that childish crap. I'll get angry. I was startled and shrugged into my shoulders when Lisa said that. I truly was a child in front of Lisa. I smiled, deliberately placing her index finger on her lip and looking off to the side to show that she was speaking. It's true, God is us all, but I do understand that you're trying to say. In real life, He doesn't simply lend a hand to help us carry our heavy loads. Lisa sipped her cacao as she said that, her smile curling into a night green as she faced the cross at the far side of the sanctum. Of course, there are many ways to express one's faith, and everyone defines God in their own way. Say that while wearing a non-habit is seriously dangerous stuff. They said that like she was joking, but I knew she was serious stout and true. True and true. Uh, when I stared at Lisa, she dropped her gaze back to me and smiled. There are fools who awaken their faith one day, and there are fools who theoretically arrive at the existence of God. There are fools who believe because others around them believed, as well as fools who believe because they have something to gain. But in my case, I truly did meet God. Hmm? Lisa looked straight at me. Normally, if someone said that to me, I'd be doubting their sanity. But I had seen these eyes before. Eleanor. Also 4 years ago, in the mirror, reflected back at me. I don't mean I literally met a bearded old man. In that sense. It was more like a puzzle. What? Puzzle. There was a full picture, but a single piece from that puzzle was missing. And if I had that one piece, the whole thing should have been just a mess. Repairable, and in pieces. but it didn't fall to pieces. Nor did it become um, sorry, nor did it become a mess. I couldn't believe it. At that time I thought, oh, there really must be a god. I mean, without that piece, things didn't make sense. It could absolutely not be explained without a god. It's not luck, it's something outwardly. I won't help but believe someone directed me there here. I couldn't imagine something would just happen conveniently like that. I couldn't imagine it to be anything other than God. God is always by your side, truly. Here was Lisa, a London City University graduate, more abstaining than anyone else, professing without a doubt that God existed. But the way she looked then, she did so, was wonderful, and I could only see her as solid presence. This must be what they called faith. And I wear this, you see, because I wanted to give a little bit of fortune to others. As a servant of God, I thought you could consider the concept of God fortune unfair, taking in runaways and helping those in trouble. That's why I'm on the moon. Here, where no one cares for their fellow man, when someone appeared big and reaching out to make you believe that there is a God. By doing that, I believe I can help others feel the presence of God. So you see how. It's then put down her cup and embraced me. There was no fervor of affection, no reason of ulterior motive. She was just doing it because she felt she should be. It was a feeling offered so freely. It was terrifying for the one who received it. When you rush to the aid of one in need, they surely see that the Lord is on your side. That's why, even if you can't see him, as I looked piercingly deep into my eyes. This is an hour, very precious meaning of the Lord is always with you. That isn't said often. When Liz finished speaking, I noticed the church was oddly quiet. No, that wasn't it. That noise in my mind was gone. That sobbing what was burning me was gone. I looked at Lisa. As Lisa moved back, she took my right hand. That's why, you see, your right hand has something so disgusting to you. What you regret the most isn't that you weren't able to save Hagana, it's that you didn't stay by her side up until the end. That's right. I was certainly physically close to her, but at the very end, while I was literally near her, my heart was far off elsewhere. That's why I tried to reach out to that bright haze. Then, this time, are you certain as to what you need to do? Liz said that at the end, shaking my hand a little. As I looked at Lisa, I let this slip out. You know, no? It's like you're really a nun or something, Lisa. She stopped shaking my hand, slamming her head down, and gave a dry laugh. It's a bit infuriating for me, Tao. Is my assessment appropriate? Because I can't solve all the problems. If I could solve everything, it'd be like a god. Yeah, that's true. It'd be a blasphemy. There's no way I could do something like that. But how? Liz let go of my hand and stretched forward to pick up the two cups, speaking as she was about to stand. Don't lose sight of that really important. You know exactly how easily that falls apart, and exactly how hard it is to get it back, after all. I nodded, slowly and earnestly, as he looked down at me. Yeah. Well then. It's cold outside, so bundle up. I'm not a child. No, but you're like one. Like how I like a nun. I couldn't even grumble at that retort. Yet that felt unendingly comforting. I felt that Lisa truly was a great, big sisterly presence. There's one thing I'd like to ask, Tav. Um, how much and how far do you exactly know? Maybe she'd been hearing bits and pieces from Chris, just reasoning things out to come to a conclusion. And I was like she really couldn't see through absolutely everything, so I needed to ask. Lisa blinked, think in malicious way, and said, Only no, only no, God knows, I suppose. I was glad Lisa was on my side. And itself may have been enough to make me believe in God. With that in mind, I rose from the bench, following Big Lisa out of the sanctum. I left the luggage I didn't need in my room, taking only my tablet as I prepared to go out. Chris, crawling her knees as she was using her tablet, looked up at me as I passed through the living room. Um, sorry, later, okay? I feel it's a mistake. Chris definitely had something to say, and now he again ignored her. Which now definitely make me believe it's uh, shipping Chris and Haru completely useless, as Haru completely don't pay attention to Chris, which is sad. That's all I said to Chris as I walked down the corridor to the front door. As I opened the door, Chris stood right in the middle of the living room and said, We really need to talk later, okay? Might have just been my imagination that she was speaking faintly. Faintly. I nodded, raising a hand, then slipped through the barely open door. The door closed with a slam as the cold outdoors pierced through my body. What is with us? I muttered that, walking down the chilly corridor with my crutch. Sorry. For now, Hal don't have his own church. Um, Eleanor certainly wasn't living in the outer district. Making that estimation, I made a call to Legov, while the train heading towards Newton City. Legov said something about Madame not receiving any visitors, but when I told him it was imperative I meet with her, he responded curtly, then he would convey the message. Maybe he didn't want something like me near her, but I felt something like helplessness emanating from Legov. Eleanor had been swatted like a fly, and the one who did it was too powerful. Anyone who got swatted has to come to grips with their own insignificance. All one had to do was remember how that middle-aged anti-Avalon man looked during the company tour at Avalon headquarters. What he said that was far from the truth, and it surely represented the majority feeling. And yet, he was made laughing stock there. So powerless and out of place. That's embarrassing to unacknowledge his presence. And they somehow use moments like this to actually speak the truth. Well, I don't see how, because obviously nobody believed them. The ones who guard in the stock market weren't your neighborhood general goods stores. They were companies on a scale completely different from individual businesses. Existence with enough power to literally grasp at the very core of people's livelihood. Maybe I got full of myself, then I was told I could analyze people's thought, had the numbers. I couldn't then comprehend the real meaning of those huge amounts of cash. But what's worse, just made me feel good. Even on the train, the news about Eleanor was showing on the monitors. Reporters and so-called experts were using panels as they put on triumphant airs and they explained Eleanor's conflict of interest. When my heart felt oddly still, I didn't get angry at the guys on the other side of the screen. That's not what my reaction was. Instead, I only felt some sort of odd emotion about them bullying Suzy Wu. Could be that money found its way to the media too. This was Avalon, wanting to bear down on Suzy Wu, then turning the eyes of the world towards her would mean everything would be distracted from their company causing the energy cost increase. Hmm, actually, oh, I don't think how, but maybe it gonna be helpful with a lot of people actually speak uh, speak about Suzy Wu right now and have their attention to her. Because obviously, if she gonna take some um, mm, moment, she gonna try and make some statement about Avalon. And if people don't really gonna believe her, it's still gonna be a lot of people who gonna see this. It just big question how to show them it's actually true about Avalon. Well, um, mm, deceiving everyone. Anyway, the same principle behind selecting stocks. There are many things you knew for certain that you couldn't remember unless you were reminded, like tragedies in the travel tariffs on Earth, other protests sit-in being held in front of our local headquarters, or even the fight of one girl tried to oppose Avalon and the system created by Iceman, who was in cahoots with Avalon to commit injustices. But now I knew about Eleanor, and I had taken a hold of her hand. I'd come this far. Couldn't just pretend I didn't see it. Couldn't pretend it never happened. I needed to move forward. And if we realized there was no path onwards from here, I felt now that I should be by her side. I got off at Sorrel Station. I missed the lingering sounds of the morning rush. And heading towards the exit Legov told me to take led to the residential district in Clapton Square. It was a wide, gently sloping road with decorative plants on both sides and even a miniature waterfall tank area. This was most certainly an upper-class apartment complex. Of course, headed towards the station were overflowing with confidence without a care in the world. The complete opposite of the mood in the outer district. As I continued down, I ended up in lobby with a reception desk, and Legov was there. His clothes, which seemed to be from an hour era, didn't seem nearly as out of place here. Madame, we'll see you now. I nodded silently. Legov stood a bit in front of me, entering the automatic door beside the reception desk. He both proceeded forward without speaking, leading towards an upper floor in an elevator that seemed more suited for a hotel. When we reached the 32nd floor, we were greeted by the sight of the large goldfish filled pond and waterfall. The corridor was carpeted, of course, and chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Um, I don't see any carpets or chandeliers, but okay. Legov continued down the corridor without hesitation, stopping in front of door 3215. Then, with an overbearing manner, looked down at me. I just was worrying about numbering of rooms, but I guess it is quite usual. So, number of floor on the first place, and I guess 15th room on the 32nd floor. Okay. Performance with a private banker, who Anne knew how much allowance Eleanor had. Him following Eleanor all the way to the moon, as her guardian probably wasn't just a matter of him being duty consciousness. A lady and the old butler who protected her. It was like a European fairy tale, laying out in front of me. There was history and tradition here. Then, in that place Ligov, who was truly the embodiment of truth, bowed deeply. I leave Madame to you. I am powerless. This is the moon, the third district of the hellish place that Ellen the Pope gave up on, bringing with greed and intrigue. I nodded. I walked through the door Legov opened. The first thing I noticed was the new home smell. That small brand new building gave up, free of that lived in feeling. There were just piles of luggage. The cardboard boxes were stacked against the walls of the wide, near simulacre main entrance hall, almost reaching the second floor railing. Cardboard boxes surrounded me on our side of the hallway. They were probably all carried after Platinum Smith cancelled the hotel reservation. Eleanor! I called out her name in the dead silent hall, but no reply. I had no choice but to enter and continue onward. As it appeared to be a maisonette, I began by searching the first floor section of rooms. A dining hall, a kitchen, a room that looked like a hotel rec room. Everything was so big that I couldn't imagine how far these rooms went on. The doors to all of the rooms were wide open, emitting a bright new chemical smell, and the furniture provided here looked artificial. On the opposite side, there was a bathroom and terrace. Could only sighed dejectedly at the thought of being able to view the Newton City skyline from there when taking a bath. But of course, there was no sight of Eleanor. Went my way back to the entrance and went up to the second floor section. Are she gonna be in her bedroom? Ascending the steps lead to a long stretchy hallway, with rooms on either side. The structure was simple, but I grew tense. Interesting. So, is this mean apartments on the taking two floors on one floors, or somehow, or they just taking two floors? And like it's apartment on 32nd floor, but it's actually taking place on 32nd and 33rd floor. So next apartment is actually starting on 34th one. So I can imagine this. I guess. But like it's important. The structure was simple, but I grew tense. There was a vast amount of papers scattered down the hallway. Crumpled up, torn. They appeared to all be written notes of some sort which were covered in words. Making my way over the carnage, I entered the one room with the door ajar. There before me was the recreation of the hotel room. No, it was much worse. Cardboard boxes were severely turned over. Their contents spilled out into a mess. I could imagine the holes in the wall were likely from the chair that was never tuned on the floor. And there, just as in the hallway, there was a huge pile of shredded notes. It seemed that she tore to pieces any documents she had found on after emptying the box. Now tore one of whose sheets was in Eleanor's slightly stylized handwriting. Think a bit of that made it feel as if something had clenched about my heart. The trail of shredded paper extended out to be to one corner of white room. In the end of that, in the end there was another door, also half opened. My heart thudded heavily as I had my breath and made my way over. Slowly, I opened the door, which led into a changing room attached to a bathroom. Oh, it sounds bad. Um, is she trying to unalive herself? Just with how they portray these scenes. It first thing what you can think about, especially since it leading to the bathroom. A single large sink and single large mirror. What's the matter of torn paper? I now pressed forward without hesitation. I used my crutch to open the glass door, left slightly ajar, just in case. However, the large tiled bathroom was sputtered red. Okay, good. So Haru actually also was thinking about this. That relieved me a bit. I knew then that Eleanor was fine, but that was only because I could hear the faint sound of her sobbing. I entered the bathroom, which was as big as this church living room, careful not to slip on the paper scattered across the floor, and approached the bathtub. Within, Eleanor appeared tiny, as she crawled her knees and wept, and the torn notes scattered around contained reading that related to Avalon that Eleanor had been gathering. I looked down at Eleanor and said, "Didn't you say you were going to bite down and never let go?" Eleanor didn't react. I lightly paused the torn pages with my crutch, speaking once again. "Eleanor." "Enough." Eleanor screamed without looking up. I looked down at Eleanor with my expressionless face. People could never be perfectly rational. "What do you want me to do? Do you have a plan? Go ahead and say it." Eleanor looked up and, and glared at me. Her face was a mess from crying so much. Her eyes and nose red. "Is there anything?" "There isn't, is there?" "Nothing." "Then, why did you let me in?" And I said that Eleanor pressed her lips together and pulled her chin in, making her look like a little girl throwing a tantrum. "I'm not Superman, so I can't come up with a solution just like that. But you, of all people, should already be aware of that, Eleanor." "Then," Eleanor's voice was raspy, maybe because she had just screamed. "Then why?" Because I thought there was meaning in coming here. I knelt down as I spoke. John jumped and pulled away a bit, startled, but all I did was pick up a torn note at my feet. These are notes about Avalon, aren't they? One thing I've learned over the last 4 years is that there is a difference between recognizing your past mistakes and refuting the past. Also, There's still the hour, and suddenly last-ditch effort. Take required a vast amount of energy. Make ourselves to scream was part of that. Eleanor was exhausted from crying, and exhausted from screaming. So she looked at me with a partially absent-minded look on her face. For now, let's get out of the bath. It's silly. Then I said that Eleanor sniffed and rubbed her eyes. On Earth, this is what everyone does. I shrugged, then held a hand out to Eleanor. Your heads are all messed up. Where's the first aid kit? More than likely, her anger took complete hold of her as she went around tearing up and tossing away notes. Eleanor's hands were cut from all the paper. At the bottom of the dresser. Dresser? You mean this? Found a small first aid kit, dropping each of the drawers next to the large mirror. Take some adhesive bandages from it. I pressed Eleanor to go into the next room. What a mess. It was meant for both the room and Eleanor, but she didn't really say anything. Instead, she did as I asked, and sat quietly in the chair. I just sat back on its feet. You normally don't use this house. I asked as I bandaged her hands. This is my second time here. Only twice to such a large home. I didn't know what to imagine how much the rent for this place was. So you've been in the hotel all this time? Leon nodded without speaking. It was like she grew up 1 year for each finger I bandaged. From 5 years old to a sensible young woman. Maybe that was why she was still out of it after I'd finished bandaging her hands. I'd only put 10 bandages on. You're really going to throw the notes away. Eleanor was looking at her hands, as if she were wearing some kind of avant-garde gloves when I asked her. Then, when she looked up and around the room, it looked like she might burst into tears again. Let's cover them up. She nodded silently at my words. The silver lining of this situation was that Eleanor hadn't ripped the notes into tiny pieces. They were bundled up and torn, then flung away. Then she tore more. Since she'd done it like that, the patch fell in bundles, so they didn't look impossible to recover. The patches were numbered. Eleanor could figure out the next patch just by reading a bit of the content of the previous one. So I covered up the majority of the patches, flung against the wall in her blind range. There were 5 volumes in total, with about half of the pages of the main portion still intact. I think I would like to see how you looked when you were tearing this up. When I said that, Eleanor went bright red and made a face as if she had swallowed a rock or something. Then, as she continued to work on the pages on hand, she spoke. You truly are cruel. I thought that cheer you up. Eleanor looked at me. It did. That's great then. I said brazenly. While I was on my way over here, the news was still nothing but Susie Wood out. Eleanor didn't show much of a reaction. Instead, staying silent as she smoothed the creases out of the pages without looking up. Just like you said, the eye of the world is focused pretty hard on her. If so, I think. Now, as the focus is on you, then you could come out saying that you are Susie Wu, and explain that you were doing this because of almost so suspicious. That would be the last-ditch effort. One of them. Eleanor's eyes shifted from me back to a paper in hand, and she resumed moving the creases out of the page as she spoke. By the way, it's nice when things what I was thinking about is bringing up in the novel itself, which means, well, I guess I at least can understand correctly what after planning, at least a little bit. I don't know eventually what exactly they're gonna do, because just saying about it alone, well, as I believe I previously said, it's not gonna be enough. They need something more. Your eyes shifted from me back to the paper in hand. She resumed smoothing the creases out of the pages as she spoke. When the company grandfather had left me in charge of went under, set things into motion in various places trying to expose Iceman's wrongdoing. Are you aware of how this worked out? The reason why Eleanor's eyes appeared lifeless was probably because she was looking back into the past. From the wayside, it's fairly obvious that Iceman is doing very odd things, but such a thing did not matter to ours. The media is business on itself. So we picked the haha, so self-indulgent novel from your got-trained storyline, it said. That type of story works better over here. I recall the ton of articles on Eleanor then I searched for them. It was just as she said. But if you thought about it normally, you could see it. Eleanor was stubborn. And once she had decided upon something, she would go to extremes. But she at least knew that she ought to follow the due process. She had tried orthodox methods to no avail, which is probably why she had ended up becoming Susie Wu out of sheer despair. Eleanor sighed dejectedly and spoke. It's all showbiz. If I were to nonchalantly come out there, I'd just be made a laughing stock. So, what would be this our last-ditch effort? Eleanor inquired it, as I was feeling depressed about the sad state of affairs on the moon. As tried to throttle us out, we throw all the information into a legal system. Into a legal system that would accept that fictitious individual would open a bank account and invest. She had turned up all her notes and cried in the bathroom on a whim. That was all she could do. That was how desperate things were. Better than doing nothing. I spoke that as if I were muttering. It may be true. Eleanor said that as well. Question: if Renak somehow can help with this, well, I guess her position kinda low to do something more than she did before with giving documents to Haru. I believe it was said that she's marrying someone. Is there a chance that your husband is someone important who can help? I mean, I guess if so, it's gonna be a bad move if they're gonna bring it up right now, since they didn't mention anything like this before. This I don't remember. The mission, your husband be an important person. And I believe they was saying what she. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't exactly remember. Anyway, just besides that, I can't remember a lot. people who can't help in this situation. Like, yeah, there is people who was protesting against our law. So obviously they gonna believe if try convey information through them, but nobody gonna believe them probably. Um, but besides that, I can't remember any connections that can help here. I mean, Chris had some plans, or at least something to say, so maybe Chris gonna be able to help somehow. Hmm. Then, when she looked at the paper piled high because of the wrinkles, an expression similar to a smile finally appeared on her face. Plus, doing something does serve as a fine distraction. It's important, in calming down. Eleanor suddenly fell silent, and I looked over at her. Seemed like she was about to burst into tears again as she met my eyes. Are you saying this to spite me? Then she said that. For a few moments I wasn't sure that she was asking me, but at the time I realized it. My shoulders were already shaking, and I was close to laughing. Your rising voice was quite the sight. Eleanor frowned like she was holding off a headache, then parted as she resumed smoothing out the papers. Minnie, I just shrugged. Then we went on unwriggling the papers together for a bit and worked on arranging them. But the room was just too quiet. I looked around and saw that all the usual furniture was in the room, with a monitor on the wall. Then I turned on the TV. I don't know might. The one there beating on his Susie womb. She's dead. I see. You are right. They may release some new facts. Like your measurements? Holding a deep grudge against the media, Eleanor said something that the public probably would eat up. In fact, given the animosity of the media, the possibility of them addressing that topic didn't seem so far off. I turned on the TV, then returned to work. I told the bed. It showed Susie Woo's appearance on the past programs. I spoke as I watched that unfold. So exactly, how high did it go? Eleanor smiled and tilted her head without pausing. Perhaps you mean my hair? Yes, your hair. Eleanor giggled and I shrugged my shoulders. Time flew, and soon it was noon. Eleanor wanted to order something and, remembering Ligov, as I suggested him. Eleanor seemed a bit shocked by my proposal, perhaps because she herself had forgotten about him. When important people remained by your side too long, you could sometimes forget when they weren't there. At least, that's what I thought. The media were basically just repeating the same thing over and over. So part of the room, Eleanor was not trying to put up a bold front anymore. It appears she simply stopped minding it. Just let them say whatever they want. The truth was on our side. And, more importantly, there was another person who knew this. As Eleanor's eyes would meet mine as we worked, she would bashfully smile at me, letting me understand this wordlessly. There really was meaning in me coming here, even if I had done nothing new, even if I didn't provide any type of solution. There was meaning in me being here. Okay, so far I kinda still hoping there's not gonna be ship between Eleanor and Haru, or romance between them, because, I mean, while it seems nice, I I kinda still a little bit feel like she is replacement for Hagana. Well, not exactly, but close enough for me not liking this ship. Even if in general I like surprisingly Eleanor's character more than Hagana, but I don't know. Actually, from three of them, as I believe, well, as I already said before, I think I like Chris the most right now. But yeah, about his definitely don't believe it's gonna work. With Hagan, my main problem, I don't expect him appearing until the next volume, or I mean episode, or maybe in the end of this episode, but still. Um, there really was meaning in me coming here, and if I had done nothing new, and if I didn't provide any type of solution, there was meaning in me being here. Around 3 p.m., the majority of the papers had been restored. Now, when I said restored, I pretty much mean just the obvious stuff. There were still the detailed bits left to do. But even so, he had restored things back to the point there she could figure out what she had been working on, and I felt that was good enough. And I suppose the last ditch effort will be submitted to the legal system. As I watched TV absentmindedly, Hello brought in some coffee and asked me that. Without she'd gone out of her way to fix me a cup. It turns out she had it delivered from the cafe downstairs. I think that's fine. I do feel rather reluctant to submit it, without knowing how unreliable they are. That's not the sort of thing I expect to hear from someone who went to the ends of the moon. My. Eleanor smiled and took up her cup. It's really quite unfortunate now. I think I really would have liked to see Suzy Wu waving around the evidence documents as she denounced it all on the TV. Yeah, but I strained my throat from all of that yelling. It's quite difficult just to express something to someone. When I said that, still watching the monitor, I suddenly felt eyes on me. Of course, there was no one else it could be but Eleanor. Smiling as she looked at me. What is it? No, just feel that's quite true. Eleanor put down her coffee cup and looked at the screen. To convey something to someone, taking passion, courage, and the faith to believe something so silly isn't so silly. I had done nothing by advocate stock brands, but I could thoroughly experience that for myself. The more emotions I'd pour into my words, or the more convictions I would have behind them, the more I would get solid reactions. Sorry. And far more than embodying actual proof behind figures. Sorry, for some reason I get a little strange to read. Anyway. Really? Why, yes. Didn't you revise Chris' program when you saw that the market moves by feeling? Well, yes, I did. Yeah, that's how it is. You miss the opportunity. That's how it really will end up being. In the first place was, Eleanor Schwezer inadequate for this. It would be out of character for me to run around screaming. Say that if a note of your head. Uh, but I do believe that when the time is right, someone like that will reveal what must be revealed. Well, I said I gonna try and do a longer stream. I feel like in a situation like this, probably it's better to, well, for me to finish stream, but, well, I mean, then I, as usual, starting to struggling with reading too much. But I guess we still need to get to some good positions to stop. So for now, let's continue. Let me read this again. But I do believe that when the time is right, someone like that will reveal that must be revealed. There don't seem to be many with a voice as loud as Susie would have. Honestly, which is it, Hal? You're trying to make me give up on or not? Raise my hands up to my shoulders. Sorry. I did all I could. Everything I was able to. Not everything I could think. I even went to the ends of the moon to be certain. Of course, I am sad. Making is only part way, but on the brink of crying, I tried to hold back your tears, but a few did fall. Excuse me. You dead? She worked herself into the bathroom. I didn't call out to her, assuming she'd return soon. But just let it all out, just as it was better to do everything you could. That's what I thought as I looked at the TV. A special feature arbitrarily labeled the final guardian deity of the people ended, and the retort of the energy crisis played as touted to our intermission piece. There was no change here, either. The front of Avalon's headquarters still crowded with people. But something seemed different from the last few days, so I paid close attention to the video. What could it be? As I wondered that, the video switched to the close-up of part of the crowd. Then, as it showed, someone in profile, waving his arms around and leading the people, the video became a still image. It was like an old Baroque painting, with his mouth stretching wide open. I thought he was roaring, and his fist clenched with all his might. Okay. So, are we meeting new characters who gonna help us? I mean, help them to convey the truth. Because I don't think we've seen them, this character before. Or maybe not. I felt I had seen that face before. The still frame was enlarged and fuller. Caption laid out beneath it. Presidential candidate Phil Grazanica, the young politician that cried out for the people. I remember that he'd been made a laughing stock when he made an unrealistic promise to give housing to all lunar immigrants. And what surprised me was that he was making rounds here, not that at all. Just because I recalled my conversation with Eleanor. Someone impassionate, with a loud voice, had people's attention, and could believe that his foolish dreams wasn't all that foolish. That was why he could raise his fist against a mega conglomerate with such fury. I was at a loss for words or how stupid I was. I'd been in shock while revising Chris' program when she focused so hard on the single number that she missed the big picture. Yet I myself had seen nothing. Even as I brooded over their special sales figures, I thought with triumphant eyes, and just had to look at things at reverse. Yet I had missed something as simple as this. Susie Wu has died. There was no our analyst who could take your place. But that wasn't a problem. Taking down Avalon was for the sake of justice. Also, there was more than just one fool on the moon, with a screw loose fighting for justice. I stood from my chair, throwing my coffee cup onto the floor, and shattered it. And that didn't matter to me. But using my crutch, I dragged my foot along, reaching the door connecting to the bathroom, as if I were diving for it. When I pulled the door open, without knowing, Eleanor, who'd been wiping her tears, looked at me, stunned. Eleanor. Yes? Please, get ready. What? Huh? Al? And then spoke words I likely would never utter again. There may actually be a god. Huh. I looked back over at TV. I was listening all the battles that while Gazanica, the politician who cried out for the people, had fought up until now. The image on screen showed him climbing up the flagpole in front of our local quarters, and explaining to the people. Susie was surely felt in compression to that intensity. I put out my hand. Eleanor looked at me. Come with me. Eleanor then took my hand, held the hem of her skirt, and dashed out. Eleanor's methodology, after deciding what needed to be done, was magnificent. It was a matter of taking the proper lines to reach the proper course of proper location. For example, rather than skimming through the phone book to call field office, she enlisted Legov to do so without hesitation. It seemed that they had contacted his office from Europe. The true power of European nobles with 500 years history could well lie in their connections. He is not being detained by the police. He'll meet us shortly. Renault said that, holding their shield in one hand. For a moment, I wasn't sure what she meant by that, but then Eleanor pointed at the monitor. I saw that he was being pulled down from the flagpole by a security guard. It would seem he currently getting a stern warning at the police station. I know, I was the one who brought it up, but are you sure this person is alright in their head? Yeah, I certainly do wonder which dream is bolder. In the face of that comment, I could do nothing but hug my head. After that, Eleanor said something into the phone, then ended up the call. We can keep going forward. I'm not sure if we can reach our destination now. And I said that Eleanor shook her head. No, I'm done with that. Hal, you came to where I was. Someone reached their hand out to me. It's an out for me that I have been able to believe that. Of course, I'm gambling everything on Phil and Gunzilla cooperation with us. There are things we still need to do to make that happen. Eleanor had just as much impact as Susie Woo, when just stuck out her chest, and without doing her hair up and filing her brow. Meaning? When I asked, Eleanor gave a dry smile as she pointed to the restaurant notes. If there's anything else, if there really is something else, I want to go over them once again. Digging for their 40 billion moves. I wish to avoid the remorse of something else uncovering it later and wonder why I didn't see it myself. It happens when solving riddles. So you try for me. Don't ask me that, whether all we had been through. And I feel to me like a North's usual coyness. Only up to that my salary covers. The North smiled a girlish, innocent smile at my reply. I look forward to working with you. Then settled in, going over the data and pages, exhausting through and examining the data well when ideas came up. Ideas such as not only confronting them with the facts that second generation station of vacant plots of lands was fraudulent accounting, but also with the fact that they were blocking land that was supposed to be used for energy production, yet did not, thus pushing energy prices up. With that in mind, it was easy to see how they could keep making such huge profits from the energy trade market. Let's all know exactly how much they lie about the energy that they produce. I should also have had much more detailed information about energy demand than anyone else. I'm now actually excited to read more, but again, I'm kinda still struggling, so I guess we'll see how exactly this one gonna end between this and meeting with this guy, and when we see if we're gonna connect or not. Um, Continue or not? Uh, Probably not. Seems like I can't talk coherently at all anymore. At least even worse than I'm usual. Comments were, all in all, about having more valuable information than anyone else. Their huge profit was directly proportional to the size of their gamble. I was probably very concentrated on this conversation. When I came back to my senses, I realized the couple I'd knocked over and shattered earlier had been cleaned up. Then, when the sun started to set, and the chill of evening began to creep in, a call came from the fiddle. Enoch had taken the call from the leg off, giving a courteous greeting, and informed him that we were on our way to his office. Noor's face after ending the call was truly impassioned. Let us be off. Mm, mm. Noor left the room, holding the torn pages dearly in her arms. I followed her and saw off in the entry hall, awaiting her stoically. Master and servant, tradition and formalities. Enoch had come this far to protect that reputation. As I gazed upon the two of them, I let out a sigh of abstract adoration. There is a driver waiting, so let us descend. Placid smile, and Enoch turned back towards me. It felt as if we were heading off to the opera. The concept of pleasant stress existed. That must have been it. I thought it as I prepared to enter the elevator, after Eleanor. Just then, I got an incoming call on my tablet. Hmm? A call? My tablet screen showed a familiar number. I exchanged glances with Legov and Eleanor as they waited in the elevator. We'll go ahead and have a driver wait. Is it going to be something about Chris? Or something else? Eleanor smiled placidly, and then the elevator doors closed. Pressed accept and switched to color mode. Hello? I called out, throwing cautions to the wind. The voice on the other end of the line made me feel as though the world was being rolled over. It's gonna be Hangana, it will be strange, so I think it's gonna be Barton. Oh, hey, long time no see. Okay, it's definitely Barton. Hello, powerful baritone. I stood upright. Been about 4 years. It was a call from Barton Gladwisen. I just really wanted to call. Is this a good time? Had such organic power, but was threatening because he was so sociable. Interesting. Well, I don't believe he actually was paid attention to whatever Haru doing after the accident. So I guess he probably just noticed Haru's name when they was figure out stuff about Eleanor, and this probably was surprised to see it. Anyway. My feelings were so mixed up hearing the strong, confident voice, almost like the voice of an uncle, that I couldn't think of what to say. Well, I understand you're busy. Off to Gazansia place? Oh, interesting. Why do you know that? Hahaha, you forgot my investment style. I make sure to always spend my investment targets. To that end, I am willing to stay on the lookout with binoculars in hand for hours on end. Discover are the exclusive executive dining halls that shouldn't even exist, remember? Telling or wiretapping. I know for quite a while that the little Switzer girl was up to something interesting. As vulgar staff brought up the Securities and Exchange Commission was Al-Kane acting on his own authority. Having Harold Bros made that fake bank account, I mean. I could say the same about Iceman, but the guys at Platinum Smith have never pride nor conviction. I didn't think they wag their tails so easily. I don't want to be grouped up with them, so allow me to clarify this part. You're... Actually, it was on the Avalon trading room floor, and I noticed you. Came to scope it out, didn't you? That really took me back. But Bossman, Mr. Trosh, seemed to have forgotten about you. It was nostalgic. I wonder what Lisa would think if I told her I was pretty heavy being told that. But at the same time, I got a bad premonition. A guy with a training style like yours, mixed in the horde of naive lemmings, was just too bizarre. Okay. Now there is a thing. Haru was here with Caris. Is there a chance Barton actually reached Caris after noticing Haru here? I mean, it's more about like theory with Chris being a traitor. So I put a bit of effort digging around. Turns out you're up to something interesting stuff. Relationships are pretty mysterious thing. Wouldn't you agree, mister? There was even a whole bunch eager to buy their stock in the elevator on the way out of company tour. Indeed, they were quite close to the hordes of lemmings in the stories, who would head off en masse to jump over the cliff into the ocean. They wouldn't think, they wouldn't make any decision for themselves. They would just blindly do as they were told. By the way, I believe this story about lemmings is just a myth. Anyway, I wasn't one of them. I rather hated myself for feeling pleased at being acknowledged for this one thing. This was the guy who fooled us all. Yet, I only blamed myself. No point in making a long chit-chat. I'm just going to get right to the point. You want me to back off? You're the kind to do that on command, and have sent some muscle your way. There are quite few beautiful, defenseless girls around you. Get my drift? My hand trembled. Blood rushed to my head. And that just ended up having the opposite effect. I would end up never giving up. And I guess the Schweitzer girl is the same. Dirty wouldn't work. To begin with, my aesthetic wouldn't allow that anyway. But instead, there exists for anyone a sweet spot where they would not mind accepting defeat. And in a stroke of that, I could call luck. I'm pretty sure my aesthetics and yours are in alignment. I took a deep breath, still clenching my teeth. If Bart caused me to lose my composure, making it difficult for me to articulate, was simply because that he said seemed extremely believable for some reason. Besides, just as you guys are following your convictions, I am following mine. I know that must sound pretty messed up, coming from the right-hand man of Scum Company, but it is the same as what you feel about us. We really want to take down Emerald Industries. To that end, you can't help but have to play dirty. What we're up against is just too big. Since you're living on the moon, it's a company you should be watching out for. Bit of advice from me to you. I thought he spoke in a mocking tone, sounded like a momentary lapse of honesty, and an attempt to conceal his embarrassment. Almost corporate policy. Take down Emerald Industries. They were serious about it. Our message would be, are you seriously going over to Gazanica place with little Miss Swedger? Is that a question? Yeah, simple question. Just because I thought it was a bit unexpected. Unexpected? Or, no, it couldn't be that you have no idea what you're about to do. Hmm? His discouraging way of speaking made it feel like my stomach turned full as ice. Yet my heart was racing painfully fast and my hands were climbing. I mean, one thing I'm not sure about this Gazanika guy. After all, he is a politician, so big question if he can be trusted. A really big question if he can be trusted. I knew this session. Sometime long ago. I experienced it. Yes, it was exactly like then. I was about to get ensnared by Barton's trap. Felt exactly the same as that one time. It's still the same as 4 years ago. My heart raced, and I blurted out a shout. No! Lies, you're about to make the same screw up. Think hard. You're walking on the razor's edge again without even knowing it. This is my plea, but it's also a warning. Please, don't waste my dream. What if you're fighting us head on? I'll face you down. And this time, I won't be able to fun and games. Sorry, it won't be all fun and games. If you screw up again, I could hear Barney's slow voice coming out through the receiver. Next time, we're really going to die. Oh, interesting. Is this a threat? Or is it actually just. Mm, or is it a warning? Cold heart, unable to speak. Say something, say something, say something. I silent myself with this plea. Could this have been physiological warfare from Barton? A strategy to get me to once again leave the decision to him. Rhianna's thinking and become one of the lemmings. I remember Barton's face from 4 years ago. Yeah, it was something I wanted to ask Barton. Back then, 4 years ago, during that conversation in the cafe, doing a conversation exactly like this, but right now, I wanted to make sure of something. The man what was Barton, or how the man what was Barton viewed the man I was. I wanted to clear picture of that stock. There was one thing I needed to confirm. From what are you telling me? I can't tell what's true or a lie. That's unfortunate, but, however, I interrupted Barton and quietly spoke word by word, as if a language I had just learned. There is one question I wish to ask. Alright, let's hear it. 4 years ago, in that cafe, I took a deep breath. Were you not actually trying to trick me? If I told Lisa, Cyril, Chris, or anyone else, I'm sure they wouldn't believe that they were hearing. But I could only believe that was the case. I couldn't believe that Barton consciously tried to trick me when he acted the way he did. Silence fell on the other end of the line for a moment. The next thing I heard was louder. That's one hell of a question. I have another thinking all you cash and the cash of the people you were trying to protect. Asking if I wasn't actually trying to trick you. I wondered. I wonder if maybe you were simply disappointed. When I said that quietly, Barton suddenly lowered his voice. It was almost as if I could see Barton's face on our end of the line. Business is all about measuring the worth of the hour. So if you screw up your estimation, then you can sink everything in your losses. That's all there is to it. But if the worth of our party is at play, one's own worth is also part of things. Mara sighed dejectedly and spoke. I was sold on your skills. when I called the church during the settlement. I was truly dismayed. I'm not sure if you can believe that. I can, I think most of all. I couldn't forgive myself for betraying so many people's expectations, yours included. Yeah, so? What are you going to do now, 4 years after, dragging your stiff leg around? I'm here right where you are. Oh? Using my brain to its fullest, following my beliefs, and making my own decisions. Huh, I looked forward to that. Make sure you don't lose your way. Same to you. Well said. It was interesting conversation. I actually kind of feel I don't exactly understand that conversation, but okay. Hmm. Parent child as he had with that, hanging up. I placed my hand on my forehead, slapping my shoulder onto the elevator wall, as if I overcome with dizziness. My breathing had sped up painfully, but my mind was burning up inside like never before. Was Barton warning truly a warning, or an hour trap? I thought to myself, but it occurred to me right away. Really, after saying all of that to me, Barton certainly wouldn't think I'd simply stop and give up that easily. So, it couldn't be a trap. Barton hadn't even tried to trick me 4 years ago. But precisely because it couldn't be a trap, I became terrified. I walked on the razor edge again. Barton believed I'd come to a halt if I became aware of it. And he warned me that if I screw up, I would really die this time. But what in the world? What was I missing here? Saying he'd sent some Moscow. That was probably unlikely. I couldn't trust Barton, as they were listed in that. That's what he intended to do, and he had plenty of opportunities to do. Well, Barton not gonna do this, but what about another people? Like, I guess another people from Avalon? Hmm. So we just popped a hole in our window with some local range ballistics while we were floating around in the spaceship, and it could be passed off as an accident. If all that were so, it was more about this side of things. Where was I something I should have realized, something that would make us come to a halt, us who chased after our with our immature sense of justice. Hmm. Is there a chance that Emerald Idnos is actually even worse than Avalon, or something like this? Like, is there a chance that whatever Avalon doing is actually necessary for something? But I hadn't found this idea, not even remotely. Was it something in our materials? Something I should have obviously noticed. Was it something so great that we couldn't understand it even after how much we doubt it's over? Is it gonna be Chris? As I pounded frantically, another call came in on my tablet. They at me, and I thought I should at least send a message to Eleanor. The call was probably from Eleanor anyway. Thinking that, I checked my tablet, but it was from Chris. Yep, as expected. But what exactly going on? Chris? I realized my tone was prickly, and I thought I was asking what she wanted to at this hour. Um, sorry, I'm busy now. Do you need something? I thought she was probably going to ask if I would go back for dinner, or how to revise her program, or something like that. No, nothing really. Well, it's nothing in particular. I'm sorry, I'm hanging up. So, is she really a traitor and now she regretting this? Yeah? Could you tell Lisa I may be going home late tonight? Got it. Later then. Yeah, there's obviously something going on with Chris. Chris said that with somewhat odd cheerfulness to her voice as she hung up. I sighed, diving my towel into my bag. I did feel a tingle of irritation that my train of thought had been brought to a halt. Is it nothing wrong here? I don't think so, even if she hadn't been by my side for 4 years supporting me. But I was getting a bit fed up with her childishness. I pressed the elevator call button as I thought this. Continued to churn what button said about alone around in my head. So, when that flashed across my mind, it felt like someone struck me in the back of the head with a bat. Carol's party. Ah, yeah, okay. This stuff. Tension gripped my gut, and there was a taste of acid in the back of my throat. This was shy, and I was worrying about the party. So she said she wanted me to come. I hastily promised I would. I took it up without thinking much about it. And just now, what did I say over the phone? Do you need something? I envisioned his face in the back of my mind. An itching in my chest. An itch I've experienced before. I pulled out my tablet and practically sent a call out to Chris. Ugh. But no answer. I was a fool, betraying the expectations of ours. Was that one thing I couldn't forgive myself for, was 4 years ago. Was really too much of a fool. Trying 3 times, with no answer, called the church. Goodness hell, what is it? Where's Chris? Chris? Ah, she left a while ago. What, did I tell you the wrong meeting spot? No. I hung up. That talk with Lisa left a sensation that was a cross between nausea and torment regret. That's because I could clearly imagine exactly what Chris had said as she left the church. She probably told Lisa she was going to Newton City to meet me. Yet, I had completely forgotten about that. Entirely forgotten. There was a much more pressing matter. But that was just as an excuse. It was a pressing matter to me. But I believe that it was more important than Chris, how arrogant. Okay, as to say, I kinda like where everything's going. I called Chris once again. No answer. I became so terribly worried that my tablet almost slipped out of my hands. I knew thinking that Chris, feeling hard, would go off somewhere. It was a ridiculous stuff. Yet, I felt so worried, I thought I might burst into tears. My right hand didn't move. It was the same worry from 4 years ago. Then I brushed Kagana's hand away. I hadn't grown in any way since that time. I had to guard someone dear to me once again. I had off guard without realizing it, without thinking about it. At that point, the elevator had arrived, carrying a resident. He went wide-eyed looking at me, trying to say something. I seemed choked for words. This is probably because of my face. It felt like letting go, and burst out in tears. Don't lose sight of that important to me. For crying out loud, how could I have made no progress at all? I really feel like killing myself. I wrote the hesitation resident and pressed the button for the lobby instead of the ground parking lot. Then, as I took out my tablet, I rang up Eleanor. I was worried I wouldn't be able to speak properly, but when Eleanor said yes, my words were dispelled. Eleanor, there is something that I must ask you. Oh yes, what could it be? I'd like you to vote off meeting with Gazanica. What? Would you say that again? I got a call from Barton. Ugh. He knew about everything, but that was why he was able to tell me we're missing something, and he wondering if our decision was really made in full awareness or not. Oh, are you telling me you believe that? I won't stop you, but I believe we need to think things over one more time. For now, let's discuss this. Where are you right now? And after I asked that, the elevator arrived at the lobby. I got out before answering, saying as I walked. Central Station. Huh? Sorry, I'll explain later, but I need to go. I'm still the same as 4 years ago. Sorry. I'm still the same as 4 years ago. Nothing has changed at all. I said that I needed the call on my end. I really was pathetic. I used my left hand to punch out serial number, and yet it was trembling. Oh, Hal, you are going to be late. You should have said so a bit earlier. Where are you now? Dad at least told me that Chris hadn't arrived yet. Or it could have been Chris who had waited until the last moment for me to contact her. Where's Chris? Did she contact you? What, she get lost? Almost burst out in sobs. Well, we just missed each other. He's called over there. Nope. Quite a bit ago, there was a call saying she was just about to leave the church town. Whichever demeanor was gone from Serial Stone, I didn't have the luxury of hiding my panic. Certainly, he must have realized something. Something happened? I'm stupid. Please call me, ASAP. Well, sure, but hey. I ended out the call without hearing the last of what he had to say. And I called Chris' phone once again. Of course, he didn't answer. Shit. Well, I managed moving from the chick machinarium to what lay surrounding of the station. And Chris here, with so many people that were voices ahead in my mind. Impossible. Then I prowl around, and I asked an attendant. I could still hear Chris' voice from the tablet on my ears. Only cheerful, better than. The intention brought me to the verge of vomiting. My stomach was in knots from feeling that I caused her pain. I wandered the crowd of people to search for Chris. I thought I knew full well it was futile. I was soon out of breath. Well aware I wasn't going to find her, and found myself at a loss in front of the bronze statue of Edgar Rochberg. Better then. Those words rang in my ears, counting me. This was smart. I didn't believe she just spontaneously ran away. I also knew that my mind was occupied by Avalon. If I explained the situation to her, she'd certainly forgive me with a smile. Of course she wouldn't. My right hand trembled. I grasped it with my left. Chris had saved me. When I couldn't get up on my own, she pulled me up. His hand once again washed away something important to me. What the hell was I doing? Even if I'm just roaming around in here. There was not even the slightest chance of me running into her. And I needed to change perspective. Where would I be able to find her? Where would Chris think she'd be able to meet me? I thought for a few moments, and drove aboard the train. I was completely unsure. What if I didn't see her there? Then I felt like I never see her again. But I never frankly see her face again. Interesting. So I can think about few places. Eleanor office, but it's strange place for meeting. Unless Chris thinking what is where Haru actually was going, because she knew what Haru meeting Eleanor. Another thing, well, most of them where they were hanging out, or maybe old church, but it's probably already was destroyed. I mean demolition. Okay, it's kind of cliffhanger, but actually let's stop here, because, well, I don't see what there is gonna be a good point to for stopping. Well, soon. And when they gonna meet, finally, which I think they gonna meet each other since. Should happen. Otherwise it's gonna be too sad. But yeah. Obviously they gonna be conversation, and then I definitely gonna want to stop on this moment. But yeah, I think we're gonna continue from this moment on the next week. website. Yeah. But yeah, it's all for now. It was actually really, really interesting. Like, and with me struggling, I actually don't really want to finish it here, but it actually already was 2 hours. Well, almost, as I was planning from the first place. I mean, in the first place. So yeah, it's all for today. So goodbye. Have a nice other day, and if reading this visual novel, see you on the next Saturday. Bye bye.